and welcome to A Simple Start in Sewing. Let me introduce myself to you first. My name is Amy Waters, but everyone calls me Ms. Amy, so please feel free to call me Ms. Amy. Today we're going to just get you started on sewing. We're going to hopefully inspire you to continue to sew. What is sewing, one asks oneself? Well, sewing is simply using a needle and a thread to make stitches, okay? And who can sew? Well, anyone can sew, whether you like it or whether you don't really like it so much. Sewing can be very helpful. And why, you say? Well, because it's always fun to do things you like, but even with things that you don't necessarily care for that much, you can do a lot with sewing and save yourself a lot of time and money and running around, just if you know how to fix a seam or fix a hem or put a button back on. So we also can sew things and recycle and reuse things that have not got any more use for us right now. We can turn things into things that will have use for us. And when we're being good stewards of the things God has given us, then we're pleasing Him and we're pleasing others too. Let me just start out first with our first steps, which is assembling a basic sewing kit. Now, you don't really need to rush out and spend a lot of money because, like we said, sewing is simply using a needle and a thread to make stitches. So a very simple sewing kit could be something like this. It's just several colors of thread, a couple of needles, a couple of buttons and a safety pin so that you could fix a shirt or whatever, and it's all in a nice little box. So it's really easy to carry around, stick in the glove box in the car, in your purse, or in your pocket, and you're ready to go anywhere you go to fix something that might go wrong. You could always get something like this too. It's just a little luggage tag that's got a simple sewing kit in it with some thread and a needle and some buttons and a safety pin that you can fix things with. And this simple sewing kit like this can actually be used to sew a lot of things. You don't necessarily need a whole big old box full of stuff in order to get started sewing. This is my personal little travel sewing kit. I've got several different colors of thread, lots of needles, safety pins, a few extra buttons, and a little tiny, teeny weeny pair of scissors. And I've done a lot of things with this little sewing kit when I go on vacation. My daughter's sewing kit is right here, and it is just a nice box, okay? And it's got all of her sewing things in it, pins of various kinds, and needles and scissors. She's got her own little travel sewing kit here if she goes somewhere, and then it's got a little tray that comes out, and in the box bottom is all of her colors of thread so that she's prepared for whatever she wants. So that's a really nice sewing kit. But like I said, you don't need to spend a lot of money to get started sewing. Those are just some of the things you can get. But just a simple pack of needles and some thread, and you're ready to go. So you could have a big thread. We've got all kind of little thread. We've got fun colors of thread. So don't be afraid to just start with whatever you've got around the house, whether it's just needles and thread and a little bit of something to sew to. You can get started with that. And once you get started, all the things you can do. And like I said, if it's not really all that exciting to you, then just doing simple repairs around the house of your personal items, sewing a button back on a shirt so that you don't have to try and pay somebody else to do that, or just pulling the hem back together. Super easy, doesn't require a lot of skill. Anyone can do it. And once you start doing it, you might find that you like it and you will maybe want to go on. We talked about what is sewing, and I'd like to show you some other examples of sewing. One example is making potholders. If y'all have ever made potholders, that is sewing, okay? And so that's a great way to get started. You just buy the little kit and put them together. If you've ever seen a latch hook rug kit with this funny little latch hook, that's a type of sewing. If you've ever seen someone knitting or crocheting, that's a type of sewing. So all those are types of sewing. Once you get started sewing, there are some really simple, easy things you can sew. One of them I've made here, and I make these all the time. It's a simple bag with a boxed bottom that's so handy for carrying things. And this one I made with a decorative little piece on it. But it's very useful for carrying all kind of things. You can make grocery bags so that you don't have to keep using those silly plastic bags all the time. Another thing I made was this little bear. Isn't that adorable? So you can make all your own little loveys. Isn't that sweet? So that's one thing you can make. This year I took old men's neckties and I made a tree skirt for my Christmas tree. And because I knew how to sew on buttons, I could make it close with buttons. And I sewed some little rickrack on and made myself a cute little homemade tree skirt. The other thing I like to sew with a lot are blue jeans. Who's got old, worn-out blue jeans at home? Blue jeans are great. You can make a purse out of the top part. You can use the bottom legs to make bags out of. So blue jeans, once they're no good to wear anymore, are not no good. You can still use them for something. Also, we like to sew with old t-shirts. This is a quilt I made my daughter out of old t-shirts from different camps she went to and different things she did. And it's quite large, so I can't really show it on the camera here, but it's very soft, just like old t-shirts are. So that's another thing you can make. So all of these things are fun things you can do and useful things you can do. So I hope you like this video, and I hope we'll see you again real soon for our next video about starting and sewing.